Enlightenment would be to deactivate the psychological mind and activate the cosmic mind. Now, enlightenment is also according to the wattage of a person. Let's say if a person's psychological mind is functioning at 60% and the cosmic mind at 40%, then the person would be 40% enlightened and 60% be living out his karmic blueprint. The 40% of enlightened mind that would function would be the mind from where he would receive pure reason. And the 60% of the unenlightened mind would be where this person is guided by conditioned reason. Enlightenment is a non localized condition, which means that even though it is a universal intelligence which is functioning through whosoever it is functioning, whoever is the agency carrying out its functioning, he becomes its instrument. And it doesn't matter what is the outcome of this person's action or what the action itself may be or how it is perceived by others or in the general worldview. If the person is guided through that 40% of enlightenment toward any action, even though it may appear to be unreasonable to the common eye, it would have its own intelligence of reason. On the other hand, if the psychological mind functioning out of its karmic blueprint is active and works through its conditioned format, there are karmic repercussions to these actions. There are consequences. To the former, there would not be long-term consequences. Long-term meaning carry forwards into the infinity of time or lifetimes. How a person launders his karmic blueprint, further entering into enlightened quotients, is basically by peeling away at anything which appears to be untrue within himself and outside of himself, realizing experience to be something emerging out of his own karmic blueprint, like clouds in the sky, as it is often quoted by various schools of thought. Enlightenment and truth are synonymous. It is only when somebody has reached that fulcrum, that core, that non locational location of truth, and its paradox within the nature of reality, can one begin to enter into the threshold of enlightenment. This also relates to frequency. The portion of enlightenment that one carries, though it may not be mathematically stable in terms of percentage constantly, it may vary time to time. One may slip a little, one may transcend a little more till there is a baseline that is established. That becomes the frequency of the person. A lack of enlightenment gives off a certain degree of frequency, and below a certain frequency, one is governed by material laws, which is totally karmic consequences, totally karmic actions, totally psychological intention. If one is above a certain baseline of frequency belonging to the enlightened quotient to in a higher degree, one's karmic consequence is much reduced in the same way. All these things are interwoven when we speak of enlightenment, truth, frequency, they are all intertwined. One cannot be delusional about living a contrary reality and expecting a fruit contradicting his reality. Truth is not to be dodged. Truth simply is. If my action and intention do not vibrate to the nature of truth, I can basically kiss enlightenment goodbye. The nature of truth is very simple. It is to simply be as is. As is. It is not about projecting. It is not about strategizing. It is not about creating something which is not reflective of the as is. The reason why nature has a rejuvenative quality is because there is no pretense about it. And the reason why enlightenment is so elusive to the human being, despite his capacity for it, it is because the human being is generally misplaced in the area of truth or the simplicity of as is. There are far too many mental formulations. There are far too many societal conundrums. There are far too many psychological pitfalls. And the whole thing is to rewind from all that and all of that, entering into source energy, source of creation, source of one's own self, basically the source of all things. We cannot objectify enlightenment. We can only live it. Like we cannot objectify truth. We can only be it. It's all very simple. Yet the nature of the matrix vibration is such that it propels us to be anything but enlightened, to be anything but rest in the simplicity of truth. The whole aspect of Maya or illusion is to remain somehow distracted, just an inch away from the nature of enlightenment, and a lifetime can pass by in that strange proximity where one flirts with it, but there is no marriage, there is no consummation. It's just window shopping. And a life can go by window shopping enlightenment, whereas it was very eminently reachable. And this is the strange reality of the way things are. Enlightenment, truth, frequency, they are absolutely interrelated. The first thing to become is truth. And when we become that, the cosmic mind begins to activate through the soul portal that we all carry. When the cosmic mind activates, the rest follows. Our own blueprint begins to reconfigure, and our system begins to reboot. And the way that we have been operating, the cycle of experiential reality, begins to shift to more transcendent expressions. Here's to truth. Here's to enlightenment. Here's to recognizing the percentage of enlightenment that one is cycling through, and understanding the distance without measure of how far we may have traveled. And it is without measure because there is no benchmark of accuracy. And yet, when one has crossed a certain threshold, one knows. And the greatest measure is fearlessness. A certain fearlessness which dawns upon oneself, it becomes apparent that one has stepped into something triggered by truth, which has energized his frequency, and now he is in a different range of mind operating through him. Om Tat Sat.